Hello. Yeah, I thought I'd do a video. I recently went to the Bristol Hi-Fi show 2024, um, and I really enjoyed the entire day. So I thought I'd do a video just to have a chat about that, basically. Uh, I went last year as well. So last year was the first time it was held for a little while because of the pandemic, and I really enjoyed the show last year, so I was that much more looking forward to going again this year. um and it is, there's so much. I haven't been there. I've been going there for quite a few years now. I never get to see everything during the entire day because there's so much to see. So I did have a plan and an idea of what I wanted to try and achieve from the visit, and that was to listen to three specific loudspeakers. And also I was going to focus a lot more on the smaller rooms. It's basically the way it works is it's a big hotel. They empty the hotel rooms of all the furniture, and then a manufacturer will go in and put the equipment in place, and it kind of resembles like a standard average size British, or certainly Welsh living room in any case, because my room is quite a small listening room, and I thought I'd have more out of spending more time in that size of room, listening to the demonstrations, as opposed to spending too much time in the bigger rooms. So yeah, so I got there nice and early, queued outside, started at 10 o'clock, got there in just after 10 o'clock, and then I was there virtually all day. I left sometime after 4 o'clock, late afternoon. Now, the three speakers that I set out to try and listen to, the first one was the Wharfedale Linton Heritage. Reason being is I do have a very old pair of Wharfedale Lintons here, and they are from the late 70s maybe. And I wanted to hear what sort of the modern take was of the Wharfedale Lintons. The ones I've got, I only occasionally use them these days. I have other speakers that I use, but I did have them in my system very recently for the weekend, and I really enjoyed them. So I just wanted to listen to the latest Wharfedale Linton. I wanted to listen to the PMC Prodigy floor standing speaker, and I wanted to listen to the Riga Aya speaker. So that was like a bit of a starting point. Then I wanted to go and visit some of the rooms where that I've really enjoyed over the years again, and try and get as much out of the day as I could. So anyway, I got out of the day. I managed to listen to two of the three speakers that I set out to achieve. Didn't get to listen to the Wharfedale Linton Heritage, but I did get to see them. Now, I went into the Wharfedale room, and they were in one of the bigger rooms, okay? So, but even though I set out not to spend too much time in the bigger rooms, I did spend a little bit of time in this one because I enjoyed what I was hearing. Now, they had released the Wharfedale Super Denton speaker. Yeah, the Wharfedale Super Denton. It's a three-way speaker. It's under £1,000, and I sat there listening to it, and it was, well, I believe it was being driven by an Audiolab amplifier. Wow, even though it was quite a biggish room, this it had no problem at all in this filling this room. I was really impressed with it. It was a very full, warm sounding speaker. It was like the warmer side of neutral, but that is what I prefer, and it's very easy to listen to. Look, it's just under £1,000. I know it's a lot of money, stand mount speaker, but if I was in the market for a speaker around that price, it's certainly one I would be me wanting to consider and have a listen to again. The finish of the speaker was superb. And I did see the Linton Heritage there, and yeah, I mean, just the quality of the finish looked really, really, really splendid. So yeah, I was glad I visited the room and managed to get to see the Lintons, but enjoyed the Super Dentons indeed. Next room I went to was Neat Acoustics, and they had the Neat Mystique speakers, floor standing speakers. I believe they were being driven by an Atoll amplifier. No, I really like these because it's, after being to all these shows over the years and also to like demonstrations in shops and what have you, and whenever I've heard a pair of Neat speakers being played, I've always enjoyed them, whatever system they've been in. So whether there's a common denominator there that that I've kind of discovered, but yeah, I enjoyed that as well. I thought that they went really well. Dali had these very small stand mount speakers, the Minuet SEs. They produce a really big sound for the size of the speaker. Very good, very impressive. The others, another stand mount speaker that really impressed me was the Russell K speaker. Now I've heard Russell K speakers in previous shows, and I've always liked them as well. I think I have heard the floor standing speakers that they've produced, but these were stand mount speakers, and these were the Russell K Red 50 SEs. They were being driven by a Riga Ithos amplifier. There was a Riga Saturn CD player and a Melco streamer. And I spent a bit of time in that room. I really enjoyed what I was hearing as well. So that was also very nice. Now, in terms of turntables, Exposure have introduced a turntable. I didn't get to hear that one, but I did hear a lot of other Exposure products, which I really enjoyed. And I may come back to that in a bit. But there was a turntable there by a company called Silence Audio, who are, I believe they have some sort of association with Clear Audio. And they had a turntable there, which really impressed me. It was the Alpha TT1, which was on show, and the design was like a more of a skeletal kind of plinth. It had a separate power supply unit, can play both 33 and a third and 45, and the tone arm was something looked really quite nice. It's a 10-inch tone arm, I believe, and it's the way they must put a lot of work into that design. I think it's somebody's interested. I mean, this turntable was also under £1,000, and I sat there listening to the system. I believe it had like it had an Exposure amplifier driving a pair of Kef stand mount speakers, the ones with like the dual concentric driver on stands. And I spent a bit of time in that room. I was really enjoying what I was listening, and I was quite astonished at the quality of the sound that was being produced. It was really nice. When I looked at the turntable and the cartridge it was being used, it looked very similar to an entry-level Audio-Technica carbon cartridge, or like Riga carbon. It was really nice. I can only imagine, like, obviously upgrading the cartridge at some point in the future, on a turntable like that would produce even better performance. But impressed. I was impressed with that. Yeah, back to exposure. Now then, they brought out, as well as a turntable, they have introduced this CD player, which is the 3510 CD. They had, in their room, they had the, I think it's a 5010 preamp and 3510 monoblocks. Wow, this was a really nice. It had a Graham audio or Graham speakers. They were like floor standing speakers. I enjoyed that room. Again, our exposure amplifiers. Whenever I viewed them at a show or on demonstration somewhere, I've always enjoyed the system that they've been a part of. So whether, again, there's a bit of a common denominator there, but yeah, I really enjoyed what I was listening to there. It was excellent. Turntable, again, Michel Audio. They had a techno deck there, which is, believe it, that might be, I mean, they do the gyro deck and then the orb. So the techno deck would be one of their sort of cheaper turntables. It had a Goldring E3 cartridge. And I got to hear the PMC Prodigy 5 speakers, the floor standers. They were there. So that was great. I believe they were being driven by an Arkham amplifier. I enjoyed that room. I thought that was making a really good sound. It was great to see the vinyl being played. Again, really nice. The speakers, what PMC have done here, they're not made with wooden cabinets. I don't know what the material is, but the finish seemed really good. I liked it. And of course, they've used a lot of like the trickle-down technology from their more expensive speakers to try and make a speaker that is a little more affordable then, but has a lot of the qualities of some of their more expensive ranges. So it was good to see. I never owned a pair of transmission line speakers like that. I liked the whole system that I was listening to, and the Prodigy 5 speakers were part of that. So I'm glad I was managed to get to see and to hear them. I liked what I was hearing. Obviously, at around the price that they were priced at, there is a lot of competition. But certainly, again, if I was in the market for a speaker around that kind of price range, I'd be certainly wanting to actually audition them again. So yeah, enjoyed visiting that room. Another room I really liked, ProAct. Now, I'm a bit of a fan of ProAct speakers. I have had a pair of ProAct stand mount speakers at some point in the past when I had my system in a completely different room. It was a lot smaller, and I had those for many years. And when I moved to a slightly bigger room, I wanted a little bit more of a full range, and I wasn't, these speakers were small, and I wasn't, so I did sell them on, and I managed to change and get something else, which I've been happy with for quite some time now. But these are the ProAct Response D20R speakers. Oh, wow. I've heard these speakers quite a few times now, and again, whenever I hear them in whatever system they're in, I've always enjoyed that system. So whether there's a common theme going on there, I don't know. But interestingly, they were being driven by an exposure amplifier. Now, I believe it was the 3510. So again, and also they had the Exposure 3510 CD player, this new CD player that they brought out. I really liked what I was hearing. The CD player is a top loader. It's got like a sliding drawer, and it's got like some kind of puck that comes off, and then you put the CD on, you put the puck on and slide the drawer back. It's all done very, once you get used to it, it's all done very, very easily. I really enjoyed that room. Just felt that the whole sort of synergy between the CD, the amp and the speakers just seemed to work really well. I liked it a lot. Okay, so another manufacturer I've come to really like over the years. I've never ever owned any of their products, but whenever I go to these shows or wherever, I hear this manufacturer having some equipment involved in a system. I've always been impressed. Sugden. They had one of their masterclass amplifiers. It was an Auralic. Auralic were also, I think, like the main source that was going through this amplifier. And you know, it's something about those Sugdens, that Class A sound, the actual sound stage, the presence then of the placement of the instruments being a lot more easier, just makes it so engaging to listen to. Straight away I was like fully engaged with what was being played. I really enjoyed listening to that. And Sugden again, I've heard Sugden amplifiers now quite a lot over the years. Very good, really liked it. Yeah, went to the Riga room. It was very interesting and great to see that Riga is still moving on, thinking of new ideas, new products. And this again was a nice surprise, because I managed to get to listen to the Aya speakers. They were being driven by the new Riga LX Mark IV. Now, again, that amplifier, whenever I've heard that, and have had that amplifier here in my system here at home, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't the Mark IV, it was one of the earlier versions of the LX. But it was a really engaging, fun amplifier to have in my system. And they had the Aya speakers there. Now, what I was surprised at, when I looked to the right, it was all vinyl being played, and they had a huge sort of wall, a display of vinyl, and you can choose a record and ask them to play a record or a certain track off a particular LP and what have you. And that was great too. But I looked at the turntable. It was a P6, and I looked at the phono stage, and it was like a moving magnet phono stage. But what looked like, it looked like an Afita type cartridge, the way that the shape and the design was. But on close, and when I asked, they explained to me it was a moving magnet cartridge, which resembled the moving coil Afita type cartridge, that type of style and design. But this was the ND7 moving magnet cartridge. Well, so, and it uses neodymium magnets. Now, this is it. This was interesting. It's also got a very, very good stylus profile, which you can only get these stylus profiles on very expensive, on their very expensive moving coil cartridges. So they're producing this at this new moving magnet cartridge. I don't think it's available yet. It's something that I expect soon. Maybe, I guess, keep keep an eye out on their website for any further news on that. But yeah, good to see that they're sort of looking to introduce another moving magnet cartridge, which is obviously got the Riga Exact and the ones below that, but this would be sort of higher in the range then than the Exact. They also had some prototypes of some other ideas as well, of other amplifiers that they're looking to produce. So that would be something to keep an eye out really on their website for any further information about that. So I got to see these Riga IS speakers. Obviously, they not wooden cabinets, so they spent a lot of time developing a new sort of cabinet, and I've seen them on the website and on the internet and what have you. And yeah, actually seeing them there was great. The design is fine for me. I quite liked it, to be honest with you. It was very interesting actually, because it's quite different to, I've got a pair of RX3 speakers here by Riga, which are very different to look at. But these speakers and the amplifier, and what I was hearing was a very full sound. That LX Mark IV had no problem at all driving those speakers. To compare them to what I got here, and it is very difficult because different systems, of course, but my guess is that those IS do go, seemingly, they do go a little bit deeper in the bass. So they appear to be very full range indeed. I was quite impressed. I think, at around that price point, excuse me, there's a lot of competition. But certainly, if I was looking for a pair of speakers around that price, they'd be certainly something I'd want to listen to again. I quite enjoyed my visit in that room, to be honest with you. So it was good to listen to those speakers, and to hear the vinyl being played through the P6 and what have you, with this new moving magnet cartridge that they're planning. Sounded really nice to me. So yeah, moving on. I did go and visit, I tend to go to the Harbeth room, which was interesting. Again, great to see that they're thinking of new ideas. They had a new speaker on display, which was the Harbeth NLE. These were stand mount speakers, quite large stand mount speakers. Well, I spent a bit of time in there. I really liked it, what I was listening to. That was really good. So many more rooms that I went to and enjoyed. I enjoyed going to the Lima room. I enjoyed what I listened there. They had one of the quantum electronics system, I believe it was, which is more the cheap, lower end of their budget then, but it sounded really, really nice. I enjoyed it, to be honest with you, and to me it sounded like it was good value for from what I could hear. So yeah, I went to the Rogers room. They had like an LS35A speaker. Oh, those speakers sound so nice. I did enjoy that. It had audio note electronics, I believe. Or was it a Rogers amplifier and audio note CD player. I have heard that audio note or an audio note CD player in another system not too long ago, and fantastic. But I did enjoy listening to those that system with those speakers. Overall, I enjoyed my day there. It was really good. Managed to achieve most that I wanted to achieve. I think it would be great to spend 2 days there, but I couldn't. I think at some point in the future, I'd like to go there and spend 2 days and take everything in, really, because there's a few things that I didn't get to hear. There was, but overall, a great visit. Great to see, there's so many people seem to be interested in hi-fi, which is great because it was quite busy. Great to see also that the manufacturers are looking to, produce new products and what have you and keep things fresh. So yeah. So anyway, thanks again for watching the video. Do a video soon. I've got a different cartridge in my system that I've been meaning to show. So probably I'll try and get that video done as my next video. So in the meantime, many thanks again and bye-bye.